Hello, everyone. How are you, Greg? I'm not hearing you. Hold on a second. For some reason, I can't hear you. What is going on? Okay, wait a minute. What's up, Jared?
What's up?
How are you, Greg?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you good. How about you, Greg?
I'm good if you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you this time.
Good.
Let's see, who else do we have in here?
If that happens on anybody else, Chrome didn't want to let my microphone work, and Safari did. So.
Yeah, I had to go through it through Chrome.
Okay. Saying we got 5 people in here. Why is it?
You're in here twice.
Why am I in here twice? Hold on. I upgraded my account today, and
You're paying double.
I don't understand why it did that. There's chat. Hey, folks.
Hey.
Having a few difficulties here. Let's see what's going on.
Hey, guys.
We'll have to get a bigger computer. What do you say, Greg?
Back
Good
it
to
away
see
from
you
there.
guys.
Oh, Jeff, you're handling that?
No, I'm just switching which type of screen I want, depending how many people we get in. I don't know why I've got feedback.
You definitely got a little feedback.
Oh, yeah, wow. I don't understand why.
Are you hearing Amber?
I did a little bit.
How is it that Jeff's over there beside, or Greg's over there beside Jared? There's Shauna.
I'm moving people around here.
Oh, okay. I thought it looked like he'd crawled over there in the room with him.
Yeah.
I upgraded so we could have more people on here.
How's Shauna tonight?
Good. How are you?
We're here.
I've not met. I'm Greg.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
That's Greg up there in the corner.
Shauna. I've got
Yeah, I've seen him before. He don't know me, but I know him.
It's nice to meet you.
Oh,
Shauna?
Yes. You
nice
too.
Nice to meet you. Do you hear me fine?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes when
Okay.
when Jeff doesn't want me talking, he'll just mute me out. Quiets me down.
So for some reason, my restream is totally rebooting. I can still hear you guys, but my screen's gone.
We see
I can
you.
see you.
We can see you.
I don't know what it's doing.
I can see and hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. We're supposed to be able to have 10 people on screen.
They're everywhere.
There's Harley.
There's Ralph.
Hello,
There's
you.
Harley.
Okay, so if you guys have your audio turned up real loud, you're going to have to turn it down because that's what's giving the feedback. So just get it loud enough you can hear. I don't know if I can turn some people down.
Should we
So-
mute until we talk?
You can. I upgraded my account today, and now for some reason it's being crazy. Let's see.
I guess it didn't like the update.
Well,
Yeah, Jeff,
all I
muting.
did was go from the free version to the pay version.
Should have stayed with the free version.
Well, the free version, you can't have this many people on here.
There you go.
Are you guys all getting the feedback?
No.
Nope.
Sounds great.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's just me. All right, folks, we're going to get started. I'm going to.
What is that in the bottom corner on each side? I see nothing but a big patch of blue.
Well, we're waiting on Sandy and Lakin.
Okay.
I don't see anyone else in here. Harley, Shauna, Chet, Jared.
I'll have to send that link to make Lakin.
I'm going to have to upgrade to a different tablet for this. I don't think this thing is fast enough, but we're going to make it work for tonight. I just don't understand why I'm getting all that feedback. Hey, let's get going here. I appreciate you all coming on. We didn't have this Monday night, did we, Ralph?
No issues.
You look.
My audio is
And that was free.
Do you want to get your other computer or no?
No, I don't even have the thing on there yet.
There's a delay. Your sound and your mouth moving. There's a delay from what I'm seeing anyway.
Yeah. What the hell? For some reason, it's got me in here twice, and I'm trying to
And
delete
Ralph's
that.
gone.
Well, now I got real quiet.
Amazing world of technology.
Now you're muted, Jeff.
Toe the way you're jumping around.
You're muted, Jeff.
Okay.
Good.
I'm still getting feedback. I'm hearing myself on a second delay, but we'll roll with it. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're here tonight to talk about insulin resistance, metabolic health. Oh, there comes Lakin. Now I gotta find her, add her in. There we go.
She's in.
Oh, Chet disappeared. What's he doing? Pushing buttons?
Probably.
So we're here tonight to talk about metabolic health. I'm someone who struggled with type 2 diabetes for 20 years, was on all the medication, metformin, Januvia was prescribed Trulicity, struggled with high blood pressure, neuropathy, pain, all these things, and I've been able to reverse them. And I did it with an all-natural protocol that I found from the guy right above me in this picture here, because I heard him talking about he reversed his neuropathy pain. And when I heard that, I was like really struggling and had no other options. And I decided to give this a try. And since I tried it, that's got all these other people trying it now and getting amazing results. So before we go into all the insulin resistance, I want to start with Chet's story. Chet, you watched me on social media for quite a while. What were you dealing with that made you decide to give this a try? Oh, Chet's muted.
I think he's trying to talk to me and Sandy about it. Get on.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jared. Then we'll have you talk.
Yeah. So at my heaviest, I was 260 pounds, and I didn't really think that I had a problem. I just figured I was a little chubby and was probably going to eventually take care of it. But as life went on, I slowly started packing on the pounds, and then I started having heart palpitations. And while I'd be sitting there watching TV, my heart would just start racing out of nowhere. And me and Amber would mildly laugh at the fact that my Apple Watch would go off, asking if I was working out. And so I was developing small minor problems, but I didn't think it was anything too crazy. But then all of a sudden my dad had lost a ton of weight, and I knew what he was doing, which was driving the truck 16 hours a day, and didn't have time to diet and exercise and do all the things that it would normally take to be able to lose the weight. And he had brought it up to us during Christmas of what he was doing. And I simply was like, there's no way that's all you're doing is just drinking these drinks. That's impossible. You have to be watching your diet. You have to be working out constantly. That's the way that works. And so begrudgingly, I gave into it and I gave it a try. And I flat out told him that it's not going to work, but I'll test the theory. And 3 months later, I dropped 40 pounds. And at that point, I got my A1C measured and found out that I was pre-diabetic, but I'd lost 40 pounds at that point and had to go back and tell Dad that you were right and it did work. So then 6 months after that, I had lost 80 pounds and my A1C had gone from a 6.0 down to a 5.4.
Amazing story. Chet, can you hear me now, Chet? He's not paying attention. So right below you on the screen here is your sister, Arlie, correct?
Yep.
And I assume she's seen the results that you and your dad were having and decided to give this a try. Arlie, can you tell us what you were dealing with before you started this? And first of all, nice to meet you, I guess. I have never met you.
And nice to meet you. Yeah, this is the first you've seen me. I've seen you quite a bit, actually, Jeff.
Okay.
What I was dealing with, being a mother of two, both my kids are older, and dealing with chasing them around sports sessions and everything else. Wrestling season, sitting 10, 12 hours a day on Saturdays at wrestling tournaments. Of course, you sit most of the day. You may get a half hour's worth of wrestling in that. Coaching daughter's softball team, struggling to move. Literally, sitting for sports or whatever, you struggle to move, to get up, do all that kind of stuff. And watching Dad, and then 2 months before I started, watching Jared do his deal, paying attention, watching it finally, I'm going into softball season, coaching my daughter, that it was time to start something because I was tired of being sore and hurt. We lost Jeff.
He's probably
You're good. Keep going.
fallen.
There he is. just from coaching to being stiff, sore, and watching Dad, watching Jared, watching Shauna. It was time. It was time to do it. So I had to give it a chance. I wasn't as skeptical as Jared, but after watching Jared and watching Dad, it made it a little easier to do.
I've got to mute Chet or do something here. I'm getting background noise. I don't know who it's from. All right. So, Greg, talk to us a little bit about, you've been doing this longer than any of us. When you first heard about insulin resistance, had you ever heard of it before? And were you as skeptical as most of us are? Like, how are 2 little packets going to fix my gut health and reverse my neuropathy and diabetes and all those things, right?
I absolutely was skeptical, no doubt about that. I had not heard of this product. I hadn't heard of insulin resistance. I always referred to what was going on with me as foot pain. I had heard of neuropathy, but I probably couldn't have said what it was specifically. But throughout the process, I certainly figured out all of the different things. But for me, it was miserable. It went over about a 5-year period. I remember the first time I felt pain in my feet that wasn't anything I had experienced before. I had owned a motel up in Traverse City, Michigan for 23 years. My kids grew up there swimming in the outdoor swimming pool. And there was a pool house that was half underground and half above ground, and it had a little shingled roof on it. And the kids would climb around on top of there. Well, I was up on it one time doing something, and I jumped down. You're only jumping down 3 feet. But when I jumped, something different. It felt different in my right foot, different than I had ever felt when I jumped before. And by this time, I was probably 40 or so. Young, really young. And man, that hurt bad. And I don't know if that was the beginning of it, but again, I was always thinking of it as foot pain. But my weight isn't what it is now. I would go from up and down 30 pounds. And at this time when I was at my worst, I was for foot pain, I was at the top of my weight. My face was much rounder. I carried weight all the way around. I had a big belly. And getting on this protocol where I'm just taking a couple packets of this stuff. This particular one here is 2 different flavors, but I would take one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And for me, at the time, that was allowing me to not be hungry. And then I would put one of these in front of my meal. And it just was phenomenal how it made me not think about food. Weight started coming off. I started to have more energy. I just wanted to walk. I just wanted to go. I was at that particular time, I was at the end of a separation or just beginning a divorce, something around there. And so my kids were growing and I just wanted to be moving. And I'm used to just sitting around a recliner and it hurting to pull that arm back and lift my feet up. And now it's like, I just want to walk around the block, walk 2 blocks, walk a mile. What the heck is that? And my brother says, let's walk around the lake. All right. That's crazy. I think it's like 5 miles, but we did it. And I'm not that guy. Like my feet can't handle that kind of stuff. I would golf, but I had to be in a cart. Boy, my feet were killing. I certainly want to be walking and golfing. But then 80% of my neuropathy pain just disappeared in the first month. And I thought at the time, I'm thinking, what am I doing differently? I'm consuming all my food in 2 meals. And I'm sipping on this stuff. And I'm putting one of these in front of my meals. So boy, I didn't feel like I was doing anything significantly different. But now that I understand, what I was doing was giving my body about 22 hours a day because I was consuming those 2 meals, less than an hour here and less than an hour there. That means 22 hours a day. I wasn't consuming anything else because I was under the impression at the time, you don't snack. You got 2 meals. Deal with it. And my feet hurt so bad. I didn't even push back on my mentor about I gotta snack or I can't handle this. It was just I want that pain to stop. And my goodness, it was amazing.
When you talk about that, that's the biggest problem is most of us are eating, and I don't want to say eating meals all day, but we're grazing or snacking all day long, right? And folks, 93% of us are metabolically unhealthy, meaning we have some symptoms of insulin resistance and maybe we just don't know it. You could have skin tags or dark skin pigmentation. You could have migraine headaches or joint pain. You could have a big belly. Hey, Sandy.
Hey.
You could have high blood pressure. Maybe you have cravings or you're tired after your meals. And most of us just chalk it up as getting older, right? That these are all just parts of getting older. And then if you don't do anything about that, it leads to the more serious symptoms like we suffered with, the type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, neuropathy, PCOS, gout, fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, thyroid disorders. The list goes on. And that's because the doctors aren't really talking to us about insulin resistance. They're just chasing the number, right? They're chasing the lipid panel. They're looking at the blood pressure and the cholesterol and the A1C, and they're just writing prescriptions for all those. If we start reversing our gut health by giving it diverse forms of fiber, by taking a break from food, by healing the gut dysbiosis, we can start to reverse some of these problems. There's that. And that's what most of us have done. So if you hear anybody saying, like Greg, he just went to eating 2 meals a day, that's a big part of this, right? And when we talk about intermittent fasting, a lot of times it scares people. Because let me ask you, Shauna, had you ever done fasting before?
I have, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't really a big change for you. How about you, Arlie?
No, not really. Not until starting this.
So when you heard about fasting, were you like, okay, how am I supposed to do that, right? Like,
yeah,
most of us
you
were
can
like,
ask that. I called him every little bit, complaining and boo-hooing every now and again. And then after about a month, I got used to it.
yeah, because we're so used to snacking and grazing all the time that we don't even think about it. And then when somebody says, well, only eat twice a day and don't snack, you're like, I'm eating something every couple of hours and you want me to go 14 or 16 hours? That's a big change, right? And that's where these products that we talk about come in and kind of help. Lakin, had you ever done fasting before? I mean, you're young, you're not a big person, you don't really need to be fasting, but
I have not.
then you find out you got high cholesterol and Hashimoto's and all these things in your 20s, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah. Today was my first day. And I made it 13 hours before I gave in. When I got a snack, But it
That's
really,
awesome.
I could have pushed on, but I didn't want to push it too much on the first day.
So first, everybody listening, this is her first day. Okay. So do you notice any energy or anything like that, like different today?
Okay, so me and my mom both started today.
Okay, awesome.
And she texts me about probably like 10:30 or 11, and she's like, I'm so wired. Like, I just have all this energy. And I'm like, I don't know if it's in our head or like what, but like we did tell a difference for real. It was good.
That's how it happens. And you can ask anybody on this panel that's been doing it for a while. That's one of the first things you notice, right, Shauna? Like your energy.
Oh yeah, it's helped a lot. Yes. I used to depend on coffee, drink, 2 to 3 cups a day. I no longer even hardly crave coffee anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I was a big coffee drinker too, I admit. I would have 2 jumbo cups on my way to work just to try to get ready for the day.
And
But
and
now
for
I
those
it's
people
normally
that
drink. I normally
go-
drink like an energy drink in the morning at like 7, and then like 1 at 2 o'clock. And I didn't have any today, so that tells you, hey, it does work.
yeah, that's awesome.
I
So,
love it that she
Shauna, tell us.
said energy drink. I love it that she admitted to drinking energy drink. She said she was drinking 2 a day.
Yeah,
If there was anything that was messing you up in your 20s, it was 2 energy drinks a day.
That'll
Sincerely,
do it. That'll
those
do it.
are those are
yeah.
rough on the inside.
So, Shauna, fill us in real quick. Like, I never thought you were overweight. When I seen your before picture, I was like, but then you lost all that inflammation in your neck and face, and I was like, oh, there is a huge difference there. But I know you've had some other benefits, like you used to have a lot of back pain and things like that, right? Can you talk about that a little bit? Because people don't understand chronic inflammation is a big thing with insulin resistance. And when you have that inflammation, you just hurt.
Right. Yeah. Before starting this, well, I was going through the menopause thing too. So I think that, the weight gain kind of started. But yeah, I was always kind of a smaller person. But then when the menopause hit, it was kind of harder to, lose the weight and or keep it off. So anyway, this has really helped. And my inflammation went away. I was having just like that joint pain. I am 51. So I thought how everybody thinks, oh, I'm just getting older, part of life. And so I just couldn't believe when I started noticing, after drinking the tea and the fiber and everything, how like that started just going away. And I have degenerative disc disease in my back and it would always burn. But I no longer feel that anymore. And then like just the different, joint pain through my body, it's so much better. So I just feel so good. So
Isn't that amazing? Like we all think I'm just getting older, right? At least all of us but Lake and maybe and Jared, but we think we're just getting older, right? Part of life. That's my parents have always warned me, just wait till you hit your 40s. Oh, once you hit 50, it's really downhill. But you can tell from most of us, like it's totally different now. Like if you would have asked me 2.5 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, this is well, I'm on the downhill slide. And now it's totally different. So Chet, I want to ask you, because you've got this whole party, all these people are tied to you, either family or somewhere in your circle of influence, in your downline of people that have started this because you decided to take a chance and try it. So
Yeah.
I asked earlier, but you couldn't hear me. What were you dealing with? How long have you been on this now, and where's your health at now?
It'll be 2 years in November since I actually started taking it. And I watched you for way too long and was skeptical. And you keep watching, don't think that it really does or could work. But
Right.
I was at the point that I was at 335 pounds, and doctor was wanting to put me on medicines, and I just didn't think I wanted to go that way. And so I finally took the plunge and thought, I'm going to try this before I try pills. And that was, I'm at 70 pounds less now, and my A1C was pushing at 5.8, and it's back down to 5.4, and all my numbers is good. I have no complaints about anything as far as my numbers is concerned. But I will tell you one thing. I was to the doctor yesterday, and he liked all my numbers and where they was, but they are diehards. He said, at your age, he said, I'd still like to put you on statin just to try and make sure you stay where you're at.
Of course
The
you would.
dangest thing I ever seen. But needless to say, told him, nope, no thanks. I'll stay with, we talked about it last time I was in there about this, and I said, I'll stay with this, and I appreciate it, but I'm good where I'm at.
I would have said the same thing. I totally understand why you feel that way.
Did I lose everybody?
No, I still hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you. You're the only one I hear.
Yeah, nobody else is saying anything. I think Jeff's uploading.
Well,
He's
there's
uploading
Jeff's
something.
Harley's
uploading
there.
an image.
I see Lakin.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. It's like the rest of the screen went away. Oh, there they are.
There
Oh,
you
there
go.
we are.
Jeff's just moving stuff around.
I think he's doing before and after pictures.
Oh, I couldn't see
So-
anything. But anyways, nowadays it's really funny because I can't wait here for we take our next trip and have Jared run me all over the airport again. I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have done it 2 years ago. No way. But I can get around pretty good now.
And what about you, Sandy? How are you feeling? What made you decide that this protocol is something that you wanted to?
Well,
Yeah.
what Chet sent me was you, and you was talking to somebody else. I can't remember his name right now. He had lost a lot of weight and really changed his health. And I watched it late at
JoJo.
night. Huh? What? No, wasn't JoJo. It was somebody else.
Okay.
Because I've seen JoJo's picture. Anyways, I just couldn't believe he hadn't said anything to anybody and that he was on it that long. And I really figured it would help a lot of people. I really didn't think it would help me. Nothing helps me very much. So, and I just don't know if I'm just not sticking with it as long as I should, but I am this and I'm getting a lot of results and I'm really glad I did. I was
Well,
tired
that's
all the
good to hear.
time. I was taking 2 and 3 naps a day. I just couldn't function. And I'm like Lakin. I got that first day for 3 days. I had so much energy. The fourth day I crashed. But it's and I've got plenty of energy now. But it just seems like it keeps improving along with everything else, and I love it.
Well, Sandy, you can't expect too much out of it. If you just
Oh, I
kept
know.
jogging for 4 straight days, you were maxing it out. You needed to take a break along the way somewhere.
Well, you're right. I did, but it's taken me a little longer to get some results, and I'm thrilled with the results I'm getting.
That's a good point because so many people want to give up in the first month. They think it's like, if it's not this miracle pill or shot or something, that it doesn't work, right? And this is something that you got to fix your gut first, guys, before all these problems can start to be reversed. And some of us have had a gut health train wreck for 50 some years or longer. And some of us, it takes a little longer for these benefits to kind of start showing up. And I always tell people, just notice the small wins in the beginning. Like, are you sleeping better? Do you feel better? Do you have more energy? Are you in a better mood? And if you're noticing them, that should prove to you this is working. Just keep going because the weight's not going to come off until you fix the insulin resistance.
It-
And if you get your insulin levels down to normal, then the weight will just start falling off. But everybody is different, and it takes a little bit of time for some people. Even Trent Tueller, who most of you know on this live right now, he said he went 3 months and never lost a pound. And Nori's sister went 6 months and almost quit. Promised her sister she would go 6 months, and if she didn't see any results, she was quitting. And at the end of 6 months, she had lost a few pounds, right, Greg? And she had noticed some other things, so she decided to keep going. And now her results are phenomenal. So I just want people to understand, don't give up. Like, at least commit to the 90 days because you get the money back guarantee. You really have nothing to lose. Go ahead, Greg.
Along that line of thinking, we don't normally talk about this, Jeff, but I was thinking about this earlier. So I'll share a little bit more about my experience than I have up until this date, because I'm 3 years in, so I don't care anymore. I'll share some personal growth stuff. Understand that some of what's happening when you don't feel weight falling off, we've just been packing stuff into our intestines for a lifetime. And so it can take a while for that to clean itself out. So don't be surprised if in that first month and 2 and 3, you start to notice your bowel movements change. And not that anyone needs to turn around and look at what's going on down there, but it actually physically changes what's coming out of you. And for some of you, you're used to it looking a certain way. And for over time, what you'll notice is the whole experience gets a whole lot more, I'll use the word normal, because for a lot of us throughout our lifetime, what a bowel movement was when we were younger changes into a completely different experience, especially as your insulin starts just living way up here. And then when you bring that down to insulin sensitivity and you give it a few months to make everything start working right, you actually can go to the bathroom without your phone, because you're not going to need to be in there that long. Just there's benefits all over the place.
Shoot. You know, it's funny because we all kind of chuckle when you talk about, bathroom and bowel movements and all that. But I've listened to plenty of doctors since I've been involved in this and been in conferences and different things. And you can really tell a lot about your health by just taking a peek in the toilet once in a while. Whether we want to do that or admit that or not, it's so true.
And if you don't want to do that, sooner or later you're going to see one of Trent's videos about poop, and that gets really educational.
Him and Jennifer Brown, they do videos about poop, like it seems like at least a couple times a month.
Is yours this
But
size
so
or this
true.
size or this size or this shape or that? Like, oh my.
Yeah, I don't think any of you are ever going to have to worry about catching Jeff doing a video on poop. I'll just say that. Now I'm going to do one just to throw you all off and make y'all laugh one of these days. But yeah, it's so true. Before we get to Lakin's story, because I want to see Greg's reaction when she talks about this one thing she's dealing with. Some of us heard about it the other night, and we were all like,
"She's in her 20s. How bad could it be?"
Right. So, just I want people maybe that are listening or watching on Facebook or YouTube, if you're dealing with any of these problems that we're talking about, understand that it all leads back to insulin resistance. And I just did a video today. It was titled "Fix the Cause, Not the Symptoms," because that's what the medical system is doing. They're treating your symptom, right? And think of insulin resistance as like the root of a tree. And if you cut them roots off or kill those roots, the tree's going to die, right? And that's how most of us, or all of us, I'll say, except Lakin, she just started today, but that's how we've all started reversing these problems and getting off of medications, is we focused on insulin for the first time in our life. And we focused on becoming more insulin sensitive to help us burn body fat for fuel, to help us have more energy and cut the cravings and not be snacking all the time and bring our blood sugar and cholesterol down. So if you're out there thinking there's really no hope for, like Sandy, she's like, I've tried everything and nothing's worked, right? If you're in that boat, honestly, you're in the right place, because I think all of us on here felt like we tried everything. Nothing really worked or was sustainable for, the rest of our lives. And then you got guys like me who are working 12 hours a day. You got guys like Chet that are driving truck 12, 14 hours a day. You got Sandy, who's a little more up in age than some of us. And then you got Lake and Claire at the other end of the spectrum that's in her 20s. And we all have different things going on, but this system seems to work for everybody. because you're healing your gut and you're fixing the insulin resistance, which is the cause of it all. And most of you, a lot of people out there, because this was me. Well, why wouldn't my doctor be talking to me about insulin resistance if it was this important and it would fix all these problems I was dealing with? Well, you got to use this a little bit and start advocating for yourself and taking control of your own health, because let's be honest, the medical industry is a business. What are you in business for? They want to keep you. That's why they say all these problems are chronic and progressive, and we're just going to maintain, we're just going to manage your symptoms for the rest of your life. The goal should be not only for you, but your medical provider to get you off these medications. But for some reason, that's not how it works. And we're not going to go deep diving into that, because we could ruffle a lot of feathers and hurt a lot of feelings and all that kind of stuff. But Lakin, kind of share 29-year-old's point of view. Yeah, you're a mom, but you started getting these health problems, and to me, you look healthy. You look, like, well, she's a young 20-some-year-old girl. She don't have no problems, right? But then when you started telling us all the other night when we were live, I was like, wow, it can be any age range, right? So share with us what you're dealing with and why you decided to give this a try.
Okay, so I'm 29, and when I had my son in 2020, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid disease. So it took a while to figure that out, and I did a lot of blood work, felt sick all the time. Finally, they said, okay, you have Hashimoto's, you need to be on thyroid medicine. So after trying to play with that a little bit, we finally got the right dosage of that, and I started to feel better. Well, then in 2023, I started to get like really sick. Like my stomach was just like horrible. I never felt good. So I kept going to the doctor. I'm like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong. So they diagnosed me. They took my blood and all this and diagnosed me with alpha-gal. I don't know if y'all know what that is. You know what that is? Okay, so alpha-gal.
I do now, but I didn't before.
Again, if you...
And I want you to explain to me, if you can. So, okay, it's something you get from a tick bite, right? But what's the difference between alpha-gal and Lyme disease?
I don't know that answer really.
Okay,
Lyme
that's
disease,
fine.
I do.
Because I have a couple of people using the product that have Lyme disease and say it's helped a bunch with just their chronic pain and feeling sick all the time.
I think that Lyme disease is just like chronic pain and feeling sick all the time. Like alpha-gal is like a reaction to like red meat. Like I have to carry an EpiPen for red meat. So like, thankfully I don't have it as bad as some people that I know. Like I used to work for this doctor, and he had it so bad that we couldn't even go to Mexican to eat lunch, because if they cooked steak before they cooked his chicken, even on the same grill after it was wiped down, he was going to go in an anaphylactic shock. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
So
that's why.
Luckily, praise God that I am just stomach issues and not feeling good. That's my extent to it. Knock on wood that I have never had an anaphylactic shock from it, but I know people who have, and it's scary because you can't eat anything that's from a mammal. So anything that has a hoof. I know this sounds so redneck, but like anything that has a hoof. So all I can eat is like chicken, fish, salmon, like. So if it has like gelatin in it, like some pills, like Advil, if it's like a gel pill, like I can't take that. Anything like gummies, none of that. Dairy, none of that.
And
wow.
Were you able to eat all of that kind of stuff earlier in your life?
I was.
With no problems?
Mm-hmm.
And what age were you when you realized eating that kind of stuff was just really messing you up?
Once you got rid of the tick.
Probably like 2023.
And when would you say you really started eating lower quality processed foods like the power drinks and just lower quality processed food? I'm an adult, I'm in a hurry, I got kids, we're buying bags and boxes and barcodes and it's quick and easy. Did you notice a specific shift in your life when you started eating lower quality?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like I always ate like junk, so like this was like a huge change for me. Like when somebody tells you you can't, you got to watch what you eat. You know, like this could be really bad, even though you haven't had it really bad. It only takes one time. Like just because it wasn't bad the first time you decided to eat steak doesn't mean the next time it's not gonna kill you. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so encouraged for you because even though you've got this really wild thing, when we understand how the pharmaceutical industry and the doctors are trained, it all goes back to money. So the model isn't that any one person over there is just a horrible, rotten human. They just follow the model. If this, then that. And that's all they do. But they never are in the situation to say, how do we get the root cause core problem fixed permanently? We all quit making money if we do that. So they don't talk about that.
right.
So what you were doing by eating the way that you just said you eat, you were just pushing that insulin right up to the max. I mean, you were just cranking the insulin like crazy. So I'm not surprised at what you experienced. And now if you're on day one, you're going to start seeing, oh my goodness, this is what I created, which we all did, not just you. We all created our own. I created my neuropathy, my blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, brain fog, circulation, and inflammation. But I ate fairly healthy, and it was the cumulative factor for me. It sounds like you really compressed a lot of.
But Greg, did you hear that the disease he has came from a tick bite?
Yeah. Well, I want to be careful what you want me saying because I don't want to say stuff that you don't want me saying. But
no, you're fine. Whatever.
Watch what because people get on this protocol and stuff gets better because they get their gut health right, and then their body has the ability to improve things that the system, I'll just call it that. The system will tell you, well, there's no getting better than that. You're a type 2 diabetic. What are we going to do? They've been saying that forever. And then people get their gut health right. They get their insulin back down. And it's amazing what the body is capable of when we stop doing what we have been taught is okay. And I liked eating ho-hos by the box full. And I don't recommend it.
It's definitely like changed my mind.
Yeah,
like even like with my kids, like I've always been like that mom, and I'm not proud of it by no means, and I'm not trying to say that I am, but like if you want a snack, go get a snack. You know, like if you want a Little Debbie, go get a Little Debbie. You know,
the same with our kids. You want Burger King on the way to school?
Exactly.
We'll stop and get you.
You want chips for dinner? Grab them. Let's go. You know,
Yeah.
You don't want to eat. I was talking to my husband about it. I'm like, we're not doing that anymore because I really think after like learning and seeing what all that I've seen, that's the problem.
I'm not a doctor and I can't say anything specific other than in 3 years, I've saw so many amazing things and so many stories where people say, they told me I couldn't do any better than take this bag full of meds. And now they're off all of them. And the stories are phenomenal. So your story is so unique. Who am I? I'm just a guy. But I've seen a lot and I've heard.
I told y'all this, Jeff. Like, I just went to the doctor probably 2 weeks ago, and that's when I went to have my cholesterol checked again, and it was still high. That's before I did anything really for it. But they were like, your vitamin D is almost like negative. Then I'm like, I'm outside all the time. Like, you know, like, why? Like, I don't understand. and then my DHEA was low. So like I'm excited to like I can't wait to go back to the doctor and get my blood drawn so I can find out like did it work? No, am I better? You know, so I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It will.
We all look forward to that first 90-day blood work. For those of us who got blood work before, and it's just like, there's the proof I was waiting for, right? And and some people it may not happen in 90 days. Maybe you gotta, push it out a
No
little farther.
resistance.
And with something like alpha gal, like I've never heard of anybody having that until you,
Never.
right? Now I'm not. Obviously, you know a bunch of people, but so I'm excited to see what happens with you in the future with that, and if some of those symptoms from that get better. I think if you heal your body from the inside, you'll notice some improvement from that, because people with Lyme disease are typically told, this is going to be a battle for the rest of your life, and so many of them now are showing major improvements. So,
People with cognitive problems, depression, on and on and on. Those are life sentences. You're just going to take those meds, and they're strong and they're rough for the rest of your life. And we've got stories of people who are like, they don't even need those meds anymore.
right. So I want anybody watching this or that's going to watch the replay, because this will be on Facebook forever, or well, not forever, 30 days now. I think it stays up there. Understand, if you have questions, reach out to whoever invited you to this live, because they can get you information. They can get you a discount link for the products we're going to tell you about here right directly that we're using, that have helped make all of this so much more sustainable and simple to make a lifestyle change that you can stick with. For me, I will never be without this now, because I'll just be honest, I love my pizza and I love pasta and those sorts of things. And I know I'll be right back to where I was if I don't use this product. Other people, they hit their goals and they're like, okay, I'm good now. And a lot of times in a couple months, they're calling me back going, hey, I want to get back. I was feeling so much better when I was taking that. I want to get back on that stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, it's just like brushing your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth every day, your teeth are going to rot and fall out. If you don't take a shower every day, you're going to stink. If you don't take care of your health and your body every day, it's going to start to break down and let you down, and your quality of life is going to go down. So what we do is we do intermittent fasting with this, or insulin fasting, or just taking a break from food. Now, I always tell everyone, if you've never done fasting before, don't jump into the deep end of the pool right away, because then you're going to be like, I can't do this, right? So start slow. Try to fast 12 hours. Lakin says she went 13 hours
That's
a day.
great.
Try to go 12 and have 2 meals in a 12-hour window, right? Try to keep those meals a little closer together if you can, or start squeezing them a little closer together each day you go on. But do that for a week or so until that 12 hours becomes easy, then go to 14. And then when that becomes easier, go to 16. But remember, we're not snacking between meals, because every time you put food in your mouth, even if it's healthy, even if it's a grilled chicken breast, it still converts some to glucose in your body, and your pancreas is going to pump out insulin, right? Now, it's not as much as eating a box of Ho-Hos like Greg, but it still happens. Everything we eat turns to glucose, okay? It's a difference in how much. So take a break from food. Don't eat so much so often of the wrong kind of stuff, as Greg always says, and then just plop down on the couch and not do anything to like burn that glucose off.
You got a food coma. You're going to sleep through the next 2 hours after that box of Ho-Hos anyway.
Exactly. So what we do is we try to be done eating between 6 and 8 p.m. and then not consume any more calories before we go to bed, fast through the night, wake up in the morning and just push that breakfast break fast out a couple of hours, right? And eventually you'll get to where you can push it to lunch and it's not even a problem for you. What we do is we drink yerba mate. It's highly chlorogenic acid tea that's full of theobromine, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, saponins. It helps with the food noise. It helps curb the cravings. It helps regulate your blood pressure, whether it's high or low. It gives you a better sense of well-being, better cognitive brain function, focus. If you're dealing with brain fog and those sorts of things, Greg always said this in the beginning when I was always listening to his lives, is you walk into this room and you forget where you walked in there, you're getting brain fog, right? You need to do something about it, or you forget where you left your keys or you laid your glasses down. Understand that over time, that's going to turn into Alzheimer's and dementia if you don't do something about it. So we wake up in the morning, almost all of us, we mix this chlorogenic acid tea called Unimate, 16 to 32 ounces of water. You can drink it hot or cold. I prefer it hot in the morning because I was a coffee drinker. Shauna, do you drink it hot in the morning since you were a coffee
Yes,
drinker?
I love it hot. So yeah.
Yeah, that's my go-to every morning. I just make hot water in a coffee pot and just sip on it for the next couple hours. When I get it halfway gone, I'll top it back off with another bottle of water and just sip on it till lunchtime. Is that kind of how most of you do it? You're just trying to make it stretch as long as you can?
Yep.
That's not something that you want to drink down like an energy drink, because you want that constant drip of chlorogenic acid in your system. It shuts off the food noise. It curbs the cravings because it helps your body produce more GLP-1.
Make sure you're carrying whatever you're using to drink and whatever the method is. I mean, you got to have that with you all the time, because eventually you're going to feel like, oh, there's a McDonald's. I could just pull through and get a. You need to be just take a big old drink of this before you pull in there, and you'll be like, yeah, I don't need to pull in there. I'm telling you, I've done it in a lot. You need to keep it with you, and don't be afraid to drink 2 or 3. If you drink 3 of them in a day, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not, how many Cokes you drinking, how many of all of that kind of stuff. So power.
Right. And a lot of people say that, well, why do I want to carry around this bottle with me all the time? Why do I want to have to carry around these packets? Well, to me, that's better than taking meds for diabetes, or my feet hurting so bad that my toes are going to be amputated, or I can't think straight or focus at work. I mean, you got to have priorities. You got to be in a position where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You want to change. You're sick of taking the meds. This protocol can do it. So when you break your fast at lunchtime, try to prioritize fiber, protein, healthy fats. Keep your carbs to a minimum and try to put them at the end of your meal, because eating food in the right order has a tremendous effect on your blood sugar. If you're eating that bread or chips and salsa first before the fajitas ever come out, guess what? You're going to want the fried ice cream or whatever kind of dessert you can get at the Mexican place, because your blood sugar's through the roof and now you got cravings, right? And you never feel satisfied. You never feel full. So start with fiber, protein, healthy fats, keep your carbs to a minimum. And then right after lunch, I just make another one of these and I sip it through the afternoon. It keeps me from needing that 2 o'clock energy drink or that bottle of Pepsi or whatever it may be.
It's a good idea to put a Ziploc bag full of all those right in the car and leave it there. It's one in my car right now.
I've got a couple in my car too.
I'm sick of wishing, oh shoot, I forgot to grab one. There's a dozen of them in my car.
I have them in my work truck, in my personal truck. Michelle's got them in her purse, in the glove box of her car. We got them sitting on the counter. Like it's like the old MasterCard commercial. Don't leave home without it.
I've got them in my car.
We don't leave home without
this
this
stuff.
Work.
Good.
Yeah, Michelle does too. She said, I replaced the candy in my work drawer with Unimate.
I got my Unimate and I've got my Balance both. I got both boxes in my drawer at work. I don't have to worry about sticking some in my purse.
And
there you go.
I know all of you know Michelle as well. I want to say it to you, Jeff, because Michelle's not here. But I was watching her videos. Remember Hawaii? When we were in Hawaii and I had that talk with her about making videos, and I'm like, come on, you can do this. You'll be good. We had that whole big conversation and she was nervous. That girl is just good. Like, wow.
I told her 2 days ago, I said, your videos are better than mine now.
I mean, she's got the microphone there. The sound quality is excellent. I mean, I'm not saying she was ever bad, but she felt like she wasn't adequate for it, or however she would articulate it. But I'm telling you now, she's as good as anybody at it, and she's smooth. She knows her stuff. Anyway, I wish she was here saying that. Please tell her I said all that.
All right, I will. She just yelled at me and said, "Hey, we're supposed to be getting on our call. I forgot we do have a call in like 2 minutes." So just after you drink that afternoon Unimate, put this diverse blend of fiber in front of your dinner, which is typically your largest meal of the day. You put this in 8 ounces of water, you shake it 4 or 5 times, you drink it down, and then you have your food. That's our protocol. We fast until lunchtime. We drink Unimate in the morning, Unimate in the afternoon, put fiber before our meal, and then we go back to fasting. We fast through the night and just do the same thing over. It's easy, it's sustainable, it's saving me money like you wouldn't believe, and I buy it for 2 people. And it's cost neutral because you're just skipping a meal, gang. And if you cut out the snacks, well, that's more money in your pocket. If you get off meds, that's more money in your pocket. So if anybody is interested in this protocol, reach out to the person that invited you to this live, or if you're watching it on the replay and you know one of these people, reach out to them. They can get you a discount link that's going to save you $75 off of retail. You not only save that money, if you do subscription, you get free shipping for life. You get a 90-day money-back guarantee. We can get you a free fasting app so you can track your progress. You can log your meals, when you take your Unimate, your balance, track your fasting, and you get mentors. You get somebody to help you if you hit that sticking point, to give you tips how to get over the hump, because it happens to all of us. You might start losing a bunch of weight, and then you'll go 2 or 3 weeks and not lose a pound. And you're like, what am I doing wrong? I've been doing this the same way, and it's been working. Well, maybe you just got to switch up your food a little bit or fast a little bit longer for a couple of days just to kind of shock the system and get it going again. And that's what you get when you get involved in this. You're not just buying something and then you're on your own. So we're here to help. We want to get you involved, get you as part of the community. This is like a big family. Everybody's here trying to help everybody get the results they want. And then, this is a whole nother topic, but there is a side to this where you can save enough money to get your products paid for, or even make money sharing your story like we do on here. So if any of that's of interest to you, reach out to who invited you to this live. They will get you the discount link. They will get you the coaching. We can get you plugged into Facebook groups and science Zoom calls with medical professionals and just all the stuff. We're not upselling you. You don't have to pay extra for that. Like, it's part of getting into this community. So I want to thank all of you for coming on here tonight. Sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning that got us a little behind, but this is the best thing I've ever done. And I think if you ask any one of these people, if you text them on the side and be like, is this stuff legit? They're going to tell you it's the best thing they've ever done too. So thanks, everybody. We got to all go get on another call right now, but I'm just so happy that everybody is taking these steps to change their life, better their health, and we'll all have a better quality of life for longer. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
everybody.
All right. Have a good night.
Night.